A GCAD Plus user has sent this drawing to us, and it's got a number of peculiarities, and he's asked us to try and fix them. Firstly, if we look at file size, it's nearly 30 megabytes in size. That's an extremely big drawing. If we go to Tools and check AutoCAD file for compatibility, and it says drawing cannot be saved in AutoCAD format. Make sure you're not using colons, question marks in text, dimension or layer names. So it's big. The other odd thing about it to me is that if we pick one of these symbols here, you may not be able to see it, but there's a base point of that symbol well off to the left. Let's just try another one. And there's another one up there. This base point, we might have to zoom out in order to see it, but almost every one of these symbols has a base point that's well away from the drawing. That shouldn't matter, but it is different. You also cannot copy any of these symbols. I can't copy them and put them into another drawing and pick their size either. Let's just take a simple example. We'll just try and copy this little symbol, which was for a telephone box. That one has its base point in the center of it, which is what you'd expect. And if we go copy to the clipboard, can't write to the clipboard. So there are a large number of problems, and you think, oh, maybe it's GCAD Plus causing that difficulty. But if I go to our templates and I pick our front garden one, now when we pick any one of the symbols, see the base point is in the center of it. Having the base point in the center makes it very easy to move things around, of course. But I can pick that symbol and say copy it to the clipboard. Then I can say file and no new, but no template, and then paste from the clipboard and put it in the center of the screen and zoom extents. So I can now look at this separately and play with it and edit it and so on. There's something a little bit odd in there. So if we regen the screen and select that symbol again, we probably need to explode it. Then we could have a little look at that symbol there. That's probably an odd line, and it is. So it's no longer needed in that symbol. It's rather a waste. And I can go to blocks and I can delete that one. All unused blocks can be deleted, and we can say OK now. And that symbol's now been removed from the original drawing, paste it in here, and I can edit it and then save it again and reuse it and change it in other drawings. So lots of things are wrong with this drawing, and this little video is going to try and give you some guidance as to how we might fix it. Can't promise anything, but it's very, very odd. I've not seen a design drawing anything like this one. Well, I've started GCAD Plus again, and you remember we went File and DXF Tools. These are the ones that we've written, and we took information from it by DXF out. Now we do DXF in and pick that DXF file that we wrote from that recovered drawing. Called it Why Big, because I'm really puzzled as to why the drawing is so big. Takes a while. The DXF file itself is quite large. It it being our software tracks the paper space versions that were in the drawing, we can probably eliminate them. They're effectively not needed. We can always recreate those. So we'll delete the layouts like so, and then go into the model. So there's the converted drawing. It's an LCD file at the moment, but it doesn't have a name. So, and notice the conversion is not perfect. We've lost a few horizontal lines and whatever. But what we're interested in is, can we now manipulate this drawing? So what I'll do is save that drawing and give it a new name and get back to you. Well, we now have this drawing in the form of a DXF file. And one of the most useful things you can learn to use is a free conversion tool called an Open Design Alliance converter. And we set up what I've set up. You can set up whatever you like, an input folder and an exit folder. And what it'll do is look for any other folders in there in this directory and then audit them. So let's just start and see what happens. We are going to, our input folder will be DXF, and our output will be, to be safe again, we'll make it the safest format I know is release 14 ASCII DXF, and let's start. So it's reading and it's now done. So that didn't take too long at all. So now we can go back to GCAD Plus, a fresh copy, and just see what that converted file is going to look like. Well, here we are. And the bad news is I can take one of these symbols and I can copy it. No, sorry, not copy. I want to copy to the clipboard. And it looks as though it's done the right thing, but I think you'll see that when I go File and New and make a brand new drawing and then right click and paste, I think you'll find GCAD Plus will object and shut down. So at this point, the main drawing we're trying to work with has just got almost too many problems for us to deal with. So I'm trying to paste to the clipboard. As you can see, GCAD Plus is completely shut down and thrown me back into my editor that I use for recording these. So we've tried a lot of tricks, but we're still stuck. I've persevered a little more, gone back to the ODA tool and just experimented with different levels of DXF and have now got a drawing, and I've loaded it in DXF form, and now I have it in LCD, the native form for GCAD Plus. And the interesting thing is, if we go to file size, the file size now is 6.7 megabyte. So we've dragged this one from 30 down to 6.7, and I was rather pleased when I went Tools and AutoCAD and check for the file compatibility, and if it can write or work with rather a DWG type format, then we can be pretty happy with the file that we've got. And with an ounce of luck, we can pick one of the more elaborate symbols, copy it to the clipboard and paste it into a blank drawing. So the drawing can now be saved in DXF format and converted to DWG if we need to send to an architect. So I think we've made progress. Now for the acid test, I think if we zoom in. An area such as this does seem to be behaving a lot more rapidly. I want to pick a fairly elaborate symbol. Can't find one. They're all simple ones. Of course, it's been through DXF. That might be the reason, but it's just called grass 3. The base point's still not showing. Let me zoom out a little. But the key issue is, can I now take any one of these, click there, right click, copy to the clipboard, appears to work, file a new, a blank screen with no template, and paste that symbol from the clipboard. And no, unfortunately, we've bombed. So we'll keep working on this, but we've reduced the file size by an awful lot. But we're still not able to copy and paste, so there must still be elements in this design drawing that are creating difficulties.